I was just having a meeting with my Rising Sun Comics co-director, and he mentioned, because I'd just woken up, and this is around about 2 hours ago, and still dealing with it. Stanley had passed away, and so I just jumped on Twitter to see, if this, was real, and there was Gail asking if it was a hoax or not, because she didn't want to believe it. There was Jimmy, saying, Jimmy Palmiotti and Gail Simone is what I'm talking about on Twitter, and talking about the loss, and fuck, man. It's not, I mean, when people get old, you expect it in time. But you don't, you still hope that they'll be around a bit more. And I'm looking at this this post on Twitter that Sci-Fi Fangirls put up about Sci-Fi SYFY, channel. And there's this one image, and the reason I just want to read this because I'm not going to have the right mode to talk about it. But I just want to read this because it's from Stan's soapbox, and they were talking about how Stanley used the soapbox to preach tolerance and fight bigotry. So this is Stan's soapbox. Let's lay it right on the line. Bigotry and racism are among the deadliest social ills plaguing the world today. But unlike a team of costume supervillains, they can't be halted with a punch in the snoot or a zap from a ray gun. The only way to destroy them is to expose them, to reveal them for the insidious evils they really are. The bigot is an unreasoning hater, one who hates blindly, fanatically, indiscriminately. If his hang-up is black man, he hates all black men. If a redhead once offended him, he hates all redheads. If some foreigner beat him to a job, he downs on all foreigners. He hates people he's never seen, people he's never known, with equal intensity, with equal venom. Now, we're not trying to say it's unreasonable for one human being to bug another, but although anyone has the right to dislike another individual, it's totally irrational, patently insane to condemn an entire race, to despise an entire nation, to vilify an entire religion. Sooner or later, we must learn to judge each other on our own merits. Sooner or later, if man is ever to be worthy of his destiny, we must fill our hearts with tolerance for them, for then, and only then will we be truly worthy of the concept that man was created in the image of God, a God who calls us all his children. Pax et justitia, Stan. And that's really what it came down to in the end. He had amazing collaborators, I have to say that. Jack Kirby is one of the, one of the greatest. And, Stan and Jack will have a good long talk. Yeah, I'm sure now. So, thank you, sir. And, yeah. I remember as a kid in Fiji watching the first Spider-Man live-action film, and my mate and I were around about 7 or 8 years old, and we saw it and we were so excited by it. I mean, seriously, this is a 70s movie we saw in the 80s, so it was something totally new to us. We hadn't seen any costumed thing ever, and so I remember finding a piece of, because we're in Nandi Town, which meant there was like all this industrial stuff was going on at the time, and all these industry was reviving. I think there was a cyclone that had just gone, so there was a lot more just stuff around. Anyway, so I found a piece of timber about yay big. I think it was about a centimeter wide, and about, I guess, 4 centimeters by 4, not even for that. Maybe smaller, maybe about 3 centimeters, about 3 centimeters wide. So I found a nail, and I hammered a nail into it, because I'm very industrial, even as a child, because we come from, a farming and industrial area. in Fiji. Well, more, I guess, when you're living in this township, it's industrial. Then you go back to the farm. You know, you think to when you come from a farm, you think very creatively. Anyway, so what I did, and I'm not sure if I made one, but I did, and I got a big long piece of, you know, about 2 inch, 3 inch, maybe longer, 4 inch rusty nail, and I nailed it to the middle of the square thing. So there was a nail, right? Let me just try to show it. Yeah, so this is a card. This is a piece of size of the wood, right? So I put a nail in here, right in the middle, and then I twist it lengthways. So I guess my hand's it's a bit smaller, half the size of this, I guess. So there's a nail right here. So it's poking out. So it's bent over like this, you know, on the piece of, you know, on the piece of thing. So now I have a web slinger. I don't even know who the hell Spider-Man is. I don't know who the hell Stan Lee is, or Jack Kirby. And here is a kid in Fiji. It's an Indian kid in Fiji, right? Pretending to be Spider-Man. Do you see what I mean? An Indian kid in Fiji pretending to be Spider-Man, around 7 or 8 years old. That's the greatness of comic books. That's why it still sticks with me here. That you could give so much hope and so much imagination and so much creativity. That's why I'm writing comic books. That's why I talk about it every week on the radio. That's why I post about it. Because it's such a great medium. And most people don't understand how amazing it is. They see just dollar signs. They just see movies and stuff. They don't see the educational side, the creativity, the imagination that you can give a child, you know, who's never actually read a comic book, but is able to see a movie about that character. So yeah. It's a great day with a great loss because we can celebrate our life. And this is a great thing about it. We have celebrated Stan for so many years since Spider-Man jumped on the scene in '63, I think it was. And is that 55 years? Anyway, it's a long time. But yeah, time of sorrow and time of celebration because he's going home, or he's going, 95 years, and a life well lived, and giving us so much. I have toys back there and comics, and with his stamp all over the shit. It's just blows my mind. I'm 45 now. I just turned 45. So, that's 38 odd years of enjoying comic books, almost, because there was a period that I didn't read comic books. But, man, now I'm writing and creating comic books. So, yeah. Anyway, this is Malfunction. Thank you so much, Stan. And thank you so much, Jack Kirby, and all the collaborators that work to make his dreams, his ideas become a reality, because artists are just as important as, if not sometimes more than writers, because I work with artists. So I know what they can bring. They can make my creations have soul, take the words that I am thinking in my head and I'm putting on paper into actual fleshing it out. So yeah. Thanks, Dan, and thank you to all the collaborators that make his made us things come to life, and we can enjoy it, and the future can enjoy it as the past has enjoyed it. Thank you so much.